Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Advance, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment. And we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got some drama for y'all today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Well, it looks like LeBron James is back on his goon time, right? LeBron is back on, whatever time he's on. So, as you guys know, LeBron had he had a back and forth with Stephen A. Smith in person, and then it went to the next level on TV, and they had this big thing, and other people like, yo, what's going on here? People were saying Stephen A. Smith should stop, and it was just one big mess. And recently, Stephen A. Smith was on a panel with Michael Wilbon where they were talking about, if you don't have LeBron in your top two or whatever it is, then they referenced Kobe, and they were talking about where Stephen A. Smith said basically that the nastiness in NBA discourse came from out of Clutch Sports, and he said what he said, right? So here's what happened. We're going to be referencing different things here. So initially, I came across an article from fadeawayworld.net that said, LeBron James takes a brutal shot at Brian Windhorst. Okay. Essentially what happened was, I guess Stephen A. Smith and Brian Windhorst were discussing the Mind the Game podcast on the ESPN First Take. And essentially Brian Windhorst said that, look, people don't want to sit down and listen to X's and O's for an hour or whatever it is, hour and a half or 45 minutes. They want a little bit more colorful commentary. They want a little bit more storytelling and all of that. And LeBron James essentially took exception to that. So what we want to play exactly what Brian Windhorst had to say first. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Brian had to say there.
When people talk about the game of basketball, they want to talk about the drama. If you do a full show that's all X and O's, that's not going to be any good either. If he sits down with Steve Nash and all he does is an X's and O's for an hour, people aren't going to like that either. Psych!
Fantastic. Now, LeBron responded to it, but I want to go to another article from Basketball Network that says, long ways from being done. LeBron James rips Brian Windhorst again for doubting his Mind the Game podcast. It then continues on. It says, it appears like LeBron James is not yet done with Brian Windhorst and Stephen A. Smith. Braun brought back his back and forth with First Take host by quoting a post from his Mind the Game podcast official account, which showed Windhorst doubting his success, right? But before we even get into what LeBron's response was, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least two for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play it safe, you'll love Prize Picks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So now I want to read what LeBron had to say here from the Fadeaway article. He wrote, long way from being done. Sucks they have to listen to two guys who know nothing about basketball talk about basketball. With those comments, the two guys is referring to is Stephen A. Smith and Brian Windhorst. That's what LeBron is saying. He's essentially saying that these guys have basketball opinions, and their opinions are usually flawed, or they don't matter, which has now opened up a conversation, a wider conversation that we need to talk about. And I'm going to do something which I generally don't do, but I'm going to take the high road here. I'm going to give a shout out to the Locker Room podcast because he brought up some sentiments that I 100% agree with, which is he was talking about the issue with NBA player podcasts. Folks, we have a serious problem. NBA players have long stated that the media members, they don't know what they're doing. All they do is go out there and paint narratives of us. We don't have an opportunity to go out and speak our truth and respond to certain things that were being said on TV. So they said when they got an opportunity finally to step into the fray, they would do a better job than the people in media because they're going to really explain to you what basketball is all about. But when they started, that's not what we saw. Let's start with one very popular one, Draymond Green. What made Draymond Green's podcast blow up? Was it about X's and O's? Was it about talking about the game? No. What made Draymond Green's podcast blow up was, number one, his team was in the finals. And he was basically giving a reaction every game. At the end of every game, he would go to his hotel room and talk about the game. And then there was the big blow up between him and Chris Mad Dog Russo, which was centered in drama. Had nothing to do with basketball. It was centered in drama. He was trying to make it seem like Mad Dog Russo was some type of racist or whatever it is. Then we started getting all of these other NBA players come in, like JJ Redick. And then we started to discover that these guys were here to fulfill a particular agenda, which was to cover for themselves. If they ever had an opportunity to interview one another, they were going to twerk it up. Go look back at some of JJ Redick's interviews with Bill Simmons. And they themselves were agenda driven. So the things that they were accusing these media members and journalists of doing is exactly what they were doing. You then quickly began to discover that most of them don't tell you what they think. Do you know why? Because they're protecting their fraternity. When it comes a moment to give an honest critique, they're like, I'm not going to say that because this guy and is going that, so this guy is doing that. So what's the difference between you and the journalist? You're up there playing a role too. You're not up there saying what you really believe. If you see somebody not playing great basketball, you're not going to call them out directly because you don't want to look like you're attacking one of your brothers. So y'all are all playing the game. That's number one. Number two, these guys, when they now start to talk about basketball in terms of them analyzing basketball, they rarely have a critical thing to say about the game. It's always niceties. When they interview each other, it's always kumbaya, I love you, give me a kiss. The next one is, just because I played in the NBA, no matter what I say, I'm right. And because you didn't play in the NBA, no matter what you say when talking to me, you're wrong. So you should listen to every single thing I say because I played in the NBA. It has gotten so rampant now that you have certain players actually trying to act like as if they were bigger than what they are. Welcome to legend. The legend of what? You got NBA players that were one-hit wonders, regular players. Now all of a sudden they got podcasts, now they legends. Now they talking down to people like Kobe Bryant. They putting themselves in the same wavelength of a Kobe, of a Jordan. It's like, bro, you wasn't that dude. What are you even talking about right now? And if you try to combat it, man, you never played in the NBA. You never played in the NBA. You don't get the right to speak and all of it. You don't get the right to talk. So what I've discovered is the vast majority of these NBA player podcasts are trash, bro. The vast majority of them. Do you know why? Because they don't keep it a buck with you. There are very few people that talk basketball that actually keep it a stack. Do you know who I think some of them are? Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, all the smoke. They be keeping it a buck for the most part. Shaq be keeping it a stack with these dudes. The rest of them, one moment they can keep it real. The next minute, I'm not going to keep it real. I'm not going to really say that. We can't give the audience that. We're not going to give them the insight. So why are you here talking then? If you're not going to say what you truly believe about things that are happening, why do you have a podcast? Why should we listen to you? This is the part that irks me. If you're not willing to say what you truly believe, why do you have a podcast? Now, what Brian and these guys are saying is your show isn't perfect. Yes, there are going to be people that are attracted to that kind of show that love X's and O's. Fine. Other people aren't. Some people want a different flavor to it. But on the part of LeBron and these guys, you dudes too be having your own agendas up there. You be trying to rewrite history and make events seem like what they really know. What you saw is not really what you saw. It's like, bro, everybody does it. We're all human beings here. We're all human beings. In terms of the Stephen A. Smith angle, Stephen A. Smith probably gonna get a whiff of it. And if you know anything about Stephen A. Smith, he gonna respond to it. And that's how these guys get down. So these are my thoughts on it. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.